You know, every once in a while, a book comes along that just hits different. For millions upon millions of people, that book is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. I mean, this thing has sold an absolutely staggering number of copies. We're talking more copies than the entire population of Australia. It's been translated into over 80 languages, and its fans, well, they're not just fans. They're true believers who will look you right in the eye and tell you, this book changed my life.
And really, it all comes down to this one single idea. This quote is the heart and soul of the book. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. Just think about that for a second. The idea that the universe isn't just out there, cold and random. No, it's actually on your side. It's actively working to help you get what you want. Kind of makes you feel powerful, right? It's a really tempting thought.
Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. For every single person who treats this book like a holy text, there's someone else who thinks it's, well, overrated self-help crap. And that's a direct quote. So how can one little book be both, a life-changing masterpiece and total garbage? That's the puzzle we're going to try and solve today.
All right, let's get into it. To figure out why people are so divided, we first have to understand why so many people absolutely love it. What's the secret sauce here? What's the big promise?
So the whole book revolves around this central concept called the personal legend. What is that? Well, think back to when you were a kid. You know that dream you had? The thing you were absolutely sure you were meant to do with your life before, adulting happened? That's it. The book says that wasn't just some silly fantasy. That's your actual destiny, your life's purpose.
So if that's your destiny, how do you actually achieve it? Well, the book kind of lays out a 4-step plan. First up, fear. It's your biggest enemy. You gotta face it. Step 2, listen to your heart. The book is huge on this. It says your heart already knows the way. You just have to learn to understand what it's telling you. Third, and this is a big one, embrace the journey itself. The treasure isn't just at the finish line. It's everything you learn along the way. And finally, number 4, believe that everything is connected. There's this idea of a soul of the world, the spiritual glue holding everything and everyone together.
And there's this one famous story in the book that really pulls this all together. It's about a boy who's told to walk around a beautiful palace and see all its wonders, but he has to do it while carrying a spoon with 2 drops of oil in it. He can't spill the oil. The message is pretty clear, right? The secret to a happy life is to see all the amazing things the world has to offer, but never, ever forget about your responsibilities, the drops of oil in the spoon. It's all about balance.
And look, for millions of people, this isn't just a nice story. It's a genuine spiritual guide. It's like a permission slip to finally go after that thing you've always wanted to do. It's the kick in the pants someone needs to quit that job they hate, or to book that one-way ticket, or even just to start believing that, yeah, they actually deserve a life that's exciting and full of meaning.
Okay, that's the case for the book, but that's only half the story. Now we've got to flip the coin. Let's look at the pushback, the criticism, why so many people read this book and just roll their eyes. Or, get genuinely angry.
So, we've established the message is simple and hopeful. I mean, who can argue with that? But what if that's the whole problem? What if its simple wisdom is actually dangerously simplistic? What if, by trying so hard to be inspirational, it's selling a fantasy that just doesn't hold up in the real world?
And the critics do not hold back. They say the philosophy is unrealistic, and even worse, it's what some call victim-blaming malarkey. The logic being, if the universe helps those who want something, then if you fail, well, I guess you just didn't want it badly enough, right? Ouch. They also say the characters are flat, the cheeriness is just overpowering, and don't even get them started on the sexism. And maybe the biggest criticism of all? After this whole epic spiritual journey, the treasure he finds is just a pile of money.
Yeah, let's dig into that sexism point for a second, because it's a big one for critics. In the world of The Alchemist, it kind of feels like men get to be the heroes. They go on quests, they seek their personal legend, they leave everything behind. And what do women get to do? They wait, patiently, for the men to come back. The main female character, Fatima, is literally told her purpose is to be part of the hero's legend, not to have her own, but to be a stop along his.
And you'd think, okay, maybe he's a national hero in his home country of Brazil, right? Nope, not really. In fact, according to one person from Brazil, he's seen as a saccharine hack who is super popular with, wait for it, your weird aunt who likes crystals. Ha! So yeah, apparently if you bring up his name in Sao Paulo, you're probably going to get more eye rolls than applause.
So what is going on here? How is this book both a sacred text and a cheesy joke? Why is it so incredibly polarizing?
Well, it seems like the answer might not be in the book at all. It might be in us, in the person holding the book. Who you are and where you are in life seems to be the biggest factor in how you're going to feel about it.
You can kind of break it down into two camps. On one side, you have the seeker. This might be someone younger or maybe someone who's just at a point in their life where they're feeling a bit lost. They're looking for answers, for hope, and for them, this book is a lifeline. But then, on the other side, you have the cynic, or maybe the realist. This is someone who's been through some stuff, they've seen that life can be messy and unfair, and all that optimism, it just feels naive, maybe even insulting.
Okay, remember that story about the spoon and the drops of oil? Let's go back to that because I think it actually explains this whole debate perfectly.
See, the fans of the book, they're totally focused on the drops of oil. That simple, beautiful, inspirational message is everything. It's a thing they need to hold on to. But the critics, they're looking up from the spoon. They're looking at the whole palace, all the complexities, the injustices, the messiness of the real world, and they're saying, hey, you can't just ignore all of this. It's like both groups are standing in the exact same spot, but they're looking at completely different things.
So, where does that leave us? Profound parable or something else entirely? What's the final takeaway?
I think my favorite ever criticism of the book came from someone who called it the Gwyneth Paltrow of the literary world. And that's just perfect, isn't it? It's pretty, it sounds really nice and aspirational, but for a lot of people, it just feels totally disconnected from the reality of everyday life.
Ultimately, maybe, The Alchemist is just a mirror. What you see in it probably says a lot more about you than it does about the book itself. So, what is it? A timeless fable that genuinely holds the secret to a happy life? Or is it a hollow, feel-good fantasy that just sidesteps all the hard stuff? I guess, much like your own personal legend, that's something you have to decide for yourself.